in the Faceoff.
We've got Arizona GOP chairwoman Gina Swoboda, who also announced she's going to be a candidate. CD1 Schweiker spot, right?
Yeah.
Right on. Yes.
Right.
We're going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about you running for office now?
I was trying to run away from the chair. No. I went the wrong way.
Oh,
I
you're
got
back
lost.
in. Yeah.
We've got the co-founder of Lumen Strategies, a Democratic strategist, Stacey Pearson. Hi, Stacey.
Hello.
Attorney, former GoDaddy chief counsel. We've got Christine Jones, also ran for governor in 2014 here in Arizona. Nice to see you.
Hello, nice to be seen.
All right, so let's get right into the face-off because the federal government now shut down 36 days. Let's congratulate each other. It is now a record.
Yay! The longest government shutdown ever.
It is a record.
We should get T-shirts like "I survived
Maybe
the
we
government
should.
shutdown" or something.
Maybe we should.
I have to fly tomorrow, gentlemen. I
Oh.
have no interest
I'm
in
a little
this.
concerned,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. And
Okay.
Friday's going to be worse.
So the FAA actually said today 10% reduction in air traffic. That starts Friday, so you're getting, Stacey, before that.
Well,
There was a 3-hour long line in Houston, the TSA. We've got SNAP benefits. I don't know if they're being released. If they're not being released, Trump said they're not being released. So why don't we start with that?
we start with Snap.
Let's start with SNAP benefits because out of the mouth of Trump onto his social media site, he said no. He said the Democrats have to open.
Right, not until the government's open.
Is Trump weaponizing hunger? Are we going to see American citizens hungry? I'll start with you, Stacey, since you're looking at me weird.
Oh. Is he going to weaponize hunger? He always has weaponized poverty. And
How has he always weaponized poverty?
his reduction in the social safety net, both in his first term and what has been spelled out in this term, is terrifying. And we have folks in the foster system who have taken children who have nowhere else to go, who rely on SNAP benefits for formula and food and all of those things. They have contracts with the state to take care of these kids, and we're pulling the rug out from under those folks, too.
All right, Gina.
Well, I think the Democrats should join with the Senate Republicans to reopen the government. I think the welfare reform that Bill Clinton did was done in the normal course of government with the government open, and that's the proper way to address overspending. And I believe the president said that the White House said they were going to partially fund SNAP, and he's trying to pull money out of other buckets. But there are like 2 judges that said yes, but won't
must
tell
do
him
it.
how to fund it. So we need to get clarity from the court on where we're allowed to pull the money to fund it. But it needs to be funded.
I think we need
people shouldn't
clarity
starve.
from the White House and Trump because they're saying 2 different things. The White House says, hey, we're going to go with what the law says. Trump on social media goes, no, we're not doing it. So I listen to what Trump says. I don't think he's doing it.
I don't know if he can stop it.
I think once we get clarity from the court on where you can pull it from, then it needs to be pulled because you do not, to Stacey's point, hold hungry people hostage. I would, of course, from my view, it's the Democrats refusing to join to get to 60 votes to reopen. And I don't think you starve people as part of the negotiation. He just needs authorization in order to let the funds flow.
All right, Christine Jones, how's Trump administration handling the government shutdown?
Well, I mean, not all records are created equally. So, with all due respect, I'm going to pass on the T-shirt. Although I have to say, in 2019, when this happened, nobody even knew that there was a shutdown. So, query whether this matters, except for people's food. And as a lawyer, this will sound I don't know, a little disrespectful, but we have a governor who has money to spend, and she should spend it on this.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the government says, regardless of what a judge says, just get in there and do it, Governor. Feed people, right? And to Stacey's point, there are really compassionate people out there who are really doing really good work here. But if you have money and you don't think people are going to get fed, feed them. Now, I will tell you, coming into this room, it was very difficult for me to find real data on this statistic.
Okay.
It is really hard to know how many people have actually lost these benefits. And to Gina's point, are we just making this a political fight? Is this just something that the Democrats can wave their hands and flail about and say, oh, those Republicans are so terrible, and oh, President Trump, he hates poor people? Or is this just them not wanting to come together with the Republicans to find a way to reopen the government?
Well, Stacey, you're a Democratic strategist. Why don't you go ahead? What do you think?
Well, this is not the Democrats' problem to solve. They're between healthcare premiums, other cuts to after-school programs, kids care, all of these things. It is pushed past the people's breaking point. Folks who are hanging on by their fingernails, who are getting fewer shifts at Amazon, who are delivering my dog's Halloween costume earlier last week. I mean, those are the folks that use that money and SNAP benefits to pay their rent that has skyrocketed. We have pushed people past the point of survivability, and that is a bigger problem.
Are you making the argument that this is who's winning the shutdown? You think Democrats are winning it, and therefore
nobody's winning? I mean, nobody's winning the shutdown. I mean, there was this totally bonkers email that Christine Ohm sent out to federal law enforcement agents thanking them. Your brother probably got something similar, thanking them for all the hard work, and we've got your back. They're not getting paid.
Right.
There is no email that could be profound and lovely enough to make up for the fact that that their car payment's overdue.
But see, here's what I mean by you can't find the data. We were told by the media, hey, military retirees, you're probably not going to get paid because we're going into week 5 of the shutdown. Mm-hmm. Guess what? We got a retired paycheck on Friday.
Okay.
So who's getting paid and who's not? Let's stop fighting about it. Congress, do your job. And come together and reopen the thing, and let's get the money flowing.
All right, I'm going to let you in a sec. Gina Swoboda is here, Stacey Pearson, Christine Jones. This is the 5 o'clock Face-Off. We're talking about the longest shutdown in American history. Gina, I know you wanted to say something.
Well, the original thing that the Democrats said that they wanted was to discuss, to Stacey's point, the expiring Obamacare subsidies. Okay,
right.
but it was
tax credits for health
right,
insurance,
to help you pay the premiums, which have skyrocketed. Right, but it was the Democrats that wrote that expiration in, and it has been the Democrats traditionally who say do not hold the people hostage. So we finally have this situation where we're trying to open the government so that we can get on with the regular order of business and negotiate. And now the shoe's on the other foot and they're saying no. So I agree with everyone here and probably all our listeners that the American people should not be held hostage because the politicians cannot get it together. And I think that's part of what we saw last night with Virginia.
Well, I think we're living in a different world. I think it's fair to say where compromise and working across the aisle will get you run out of office. Will get you recalled. Will get you banished.
Gina doesn't know anything about that.
But I'm just saying. You understand what I mean by that?
Yes, we do.
I do.
What is the motivation for members of Congress to solve this problem if they are surrounded by people who tell them they're, quote, winning?
That's why we have the Susan Collins that reaches across the aisle from Maine, and we have Jeanne Shaheen who will reach across in the other direction from New Hampshire, and we just need a handful of additional Democrats. And if they were waiting for a signal last night, I think everyone should have hopefully gotten the signal that the people want you to get about the business so that the work gets done.
You're talking about the there was elections in New
Jersey.
York, Virginia, New Jersey.
And everywhere.
We're going to get to that in the next segment, which I think is very important, what it means to America. But let's go over something that Christine Jones said. You were alluding to the fact that Governor Hobbs has money. We've got a rainy day fund over $1 billion, right? Is that what we're looking at?
$1.6 billion.
It was substantially larger when she got there, but I'll set that aside for purposes of this
Were you
discussion.
saying
Before Ducey cut taxes past the point of the bone?
That's
Is
where
that
we
it?
had to, that's where I had to set it. I'm sorry.
were you saying that she should use the rainy day fund to fund what the federal government should be funding? She should use
Or
it
make
for
up the difference?
I think if you legitimately have people who aren't eating, you should feed them with whatever money and whatever means it
So
takes.
the federal government should be doing that.
Yes, of course, but
Right.
they're not. If they're not, you have to do this.
You know,
This is not partisan.
Are
This
other
is not
states doing this?
political.
Are other states reaching into? I'm
mean,
curious as to how they're dealing with it.
That's a good question. I mean, what she did do was make a substantial contribution to the food banks.
Yes.
And,
And
it's not enough.
100%, and she should get props for that.
All right. So wait a minute. Are we saying that Governor Hobbs has not done enough during this shutdown to feed people? Is that what I'm hearing, or no?
She can't do enough to feed people. The state budget can't withstand that. And given how much we all pay in federal taxes, it's the federal government's job to get it together. And she's already backfilled, be it border security or after school care. I mean, the federal government needs to get it together.
Gina, is she doing enough? Is the governor doing enough? The governor is on our show tomorrow, I believe.
She is.
For the Talk to the Governor segment.
I think El Gobernador has a responsibility to the people of the state when the federal government fails, which is what we tried to do on border security when we felt that the federal government was failing us, and we were stopped because that's been made clear by the Supreme Court that only the federal government can work on the border. But to Christine's point, this is a different issue. You know, it's interesting. Secretary Fonta sent out an email informing the public about where to go get food.
Yeah.
I don't know if the governor did, but Secretary Fontes did. I thought that was helpful.
Yeah, like a website
Yes,
where...
it was like, come here, come here, come here.
I want to go around the room quickly. Who blinks first to end the shutdown?
Oh.
Christine.
Well,
Who's going to blink first?
I think the Republicans who have control are going to have to just cross the aisle and shake hands.
They're going to blink.
I think they have to.
Gina.
I think the Democrats have to come over because they're not going to negotiate on premiums on subsidies for health care because health care is a crisis. And if we do it now, we're not going to do any meaningful reform later.
Stacey.
Well, I think the party that holds the majority in both chambers and the White House is going to have to be the one that blinks first.
All right.
All right. We're inside the 5 o'clock face-off. Here we are. And we have a great panel. Again, Gina Swoboda, Stacey Pearson, and Christine Jones. We're going to come back. And on the other side, did Trump help Democrats win almost every single election last night around the country? We're talking about that next. Outspoken on KTAR. That's right. In studio with us right now, Gina Swoboda, candidate for CD1, also the Arizona GOP chairwoman. The co-founder of Lumen Strategies and a Democratic strategist, that's Stacey Pearson, and attorney and former GoDaddy chief counsel and ran for governor here in the state of Arizona. That's Christine Jones. We've got all the ladies with us today. How lucky are we? Thank you guys for joining us. So yesterday, elections all around the country, some more high profile than others, might be a nice way to put it. We won't dig too deeply into school bonds here in Arizona, but I think a lot of people were looking at Virginia governor, New Jersey governor, mayor of New York, and it seemed there was a bit of a pattern.
Yeah. Fox News, Brett Baer.
A big loss. You can say that these states were traditionally blue, but you can also say that heading in, there was some thought that, especially in New Jersey, that Ciattarelli would do better. The spreads here are surprising. Maybe not the results, but the spreads. And if you look inside the numbers, there are some dangerous things. One, young women overwhelmingly in New Jersey and Virginia supported the Democrat based on economy, on immigration, maybe those ICE images.
Trump's disapproval rating is 63%. Wow. CNN poll. Every single candidate Trump endorsed lost last night. So
I saw Virginia. I saw something interesting in Virginia. Every single district moved blue from the previous election. Right. Every single one. Some by as much as like 16 points, which is quite a swing in 2 years.
So what does this say about the midterms next year? Does what happened yesterday matter when it comes to the midterms? I'll start with you, Gina.
I think it is a warning signal about focusing on the economy. I think that people's lived experiences, as we would say, and affordability are paramount, and we have to walk and chew gum. So what we're doing on foreign policy is fantastic, but we also have to focus on people's experiences every day. And inflation is still high, and jobs. We need jobs. So we had a lot of aspirational people that came over. We had Hispanic men. We had a lot of young black men, and they need jobs. And where are the jobs? And that's what we've got to work on. The states that were in play are blue. But the point that you're making, they're blue.
They were going to vote for Democrats probably anyway.
But like Virginia and Stacey and I were discussing, there's a lot of federal government workers in Northern Virginia. I
seriously doubt they were voting.
Your shutdown isn't helping.
No.
Your candidate selection's an issue. The thing with the AG, I think that's a separate discussion about where we are as a culture, that people are speaking this way to each other and we're still putting them in as the chief law enforcement officer.
Fair.
But there's no doubt that the economy has to be top of mind for everybody on the Republican side of the aisle from now until the midterms.
It's the economy stupid, right?
Yes.
We heard that.
Yes,
before.
indeed.
Yeah.
Here's a little bit more from Fox News.
You guys want to talk about Mamdani, and I get why. He's charismatic and he's super left. Democrats won in Mississippi, Ohio, Virginia, New Jersey, red parts of those states with moderates. And if Republicans don't want to admit that today, they're going to be in for a rude awakening next year. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think people like the way the country's going. Listen, I'm all for deporting, people who are here illegally, but I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like people getting thrown to the ground. Your grandmother got thrown to the ground the other day. I think it's disgusting. Somebody got tackled out of nowhere the other day by ICE. It doesn't seem that they need to do that.
They dragged a teacher out of a preschool today in Chicago.
I think the violent treatment of migrants, I think a lot of people saw this and have seen this. And yeah, we're also getting rid of bad people, but we're also getting rid of people who are here and they've been here for 30 years and they follow the law and they pay their taxes. And they're getting treated like dogs.
Well, Gaydos, we also have over
dogs are treated better. There are laws against
over 170 American citizens have been illegally detained by ICE.
So I think if you look at it, it's definitely grocery prices. There's no question about it. I think when people went to vote, listen, Joe Biden let everybody and their brother and mother in. And we needed to deport people. The way they're deporting people, and they're doing it in front of cameras, and the racial profiling, which wasn't at the start, which looks like it certainly is now. And I've changed on that, Bruce, because I don't think it was at the start. I do think it is now. America doesn't like that.
Well, can I jump in real quick?
Please.
I want to come back to your question, which is, should we be viewing the results from last night as forbearing?
Is it part of a broader story?
Yeah. And I know you love to talk about immigration, but that is not the referendum that happened last night. The referendum that happened last night was about the economy, about
grocery
affordability,
prices,
about
stuff like
And if
but
you're
wasn't
going to
it about Trump overstepping
100%,
power? Okay, so this is part of it.
But it wasn't about immigration, sir.
Okay.
I think you have to be very careful about that. Now, will that be the single issue in 2 years? Perhaps, but if he doesn't do it,
doesn't it fall though under he's overreaching? He's not listening to two judges by giving people food to eat.
I don't think so. I don't think that's what happened last night. Winsome Sears in Virginia, who would have become the first black female governor in the country, was roundly criticized by Democrats. By the way, shame on you for criticizing the first black female governor candidate. But that had nothing to do with immigration. That had everything to do with affordability.
The economy.
And the Republicans have to get this messaging and deliver on the promises of the Trump campaign, or they are going to have this happen again.
Well, if I can interject, I think one of the issues is, economies are cyclical. We know that. You're all very smart. It goes up, it goes down. It doesn't matter if you're an R or a D. Presidents have up times, down times, Congress up and down. Yeah. But a lot of the problems we're seeing are a direct result of one person's whims, one person's
trade war.
I'm going to put a 50% tariff on Argentina because I don't like what they did to the, just arbitrary stuff, which all of a sudden makes your coffee price go up or the parts for your car go up. He owns the bad economy. He's literally the person that's done it. It's not some outside force.
So are Democrats, Stacey, going to be able to run on that with really no leader of that party? And really, also, I don't know what they believe in anymore. I have no idea. They're lost, right?
Well, I'm probably the least optimistic person you could call to talk about the future of Democratic policies, because my fear is we start celebrating on the 5-yard line.
Oh.
Like in Arizona, things did not go particularly well last night.
Okay.
We had a bunch of suburban school districts who are not getting very important funding that they need. Very, just the ability to spend money that's already been collected. The overrides, that's what those are.
Right.
We've got a councilwoman who's remarkably sane, who got recalled in Mesa, the same city that turned on Joe Arpaio and recalled Russell Pierce, installed a Turning Point USA candidate. So Arizona is not the same purple panacea that is going to move left. And we have a lot of work to do here.
That's fair. Hey, you're listening to the 5 o'clock Face-Off, an amazing panel. We're so glad that, oh my goodness, Christine Jones, Stacey Pearson, Gina Swoboda could be with us today. Tell you what, let's talk about this next. Arizona teachers down in southern Arizona, Vail, outside of Tucson, were doxxed over a Halloween costume. It resulted in over 3,000 death threats. Is a certain political group responsible for this? We'll talk about it next.
All right, second half of the 5 o'clock Face-Off every Wednesday. All right, so in studio, our panel, we've got attorney and former GoDaddy chief counsel, Christine Jones. We've also got Stacey Pearson, co-founder of Lumen Strategies, Democratic strategist. And she's running for office. The Arizona GOP chairwoman, Gina Swoboda, now possibly taking Schweikert's spot. Why are you running? What are you running for office now? You're such a good chairwoman.
Thank you.
You're the best chairperson that the Republicans have ever had.
Thank you.
You've turned everything around.
There's no one was getting in.
No one was
that
getting
can
in?
win, and the people that I heard were thinking of getting in, in my opinion, had no shot at winning. And I spoke to the president. And here I am.
All right. And you're going to run.
And I'm going to run.
All right.
I'm in.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about a story that Bruce and I were chatting about on Monday. So you've got a school district in Arizona, Vail Unified.
Just outside of Tucson, south of Tucson.
And so it was Halloween last week. So they thought what would be funny is, okay, let's wear T-shirts. They're math T-shirts. And they were white T-shirts and they were bloodied. And, you know.
It says problem solved on it. It's a
pun
on math
on solving
problems.
equations.
And that they were solving that solving math problems is difficult.
Okay. And then you had a bunch of geniuses that were online. Okay, excuse me, they're not geniuses. They're the rear end of a horse.
They're perpetually outraged.
Yeah, and they said
Perpetually outraged.
They said this is mocking the death of Charlie Kirk. Yeah. Okay, first of all, it's not mocking the death of Charlie Kirk. They wore these shirts in 2024. What are we doing here?
By the way, those shirts,
are all over Amazon.
Yeah.
They've been for sale on Amazon for years, and they go back to something else. Where can I tell you? I went and looked it up because I ordered one, and it's the original joke is problem solved. Don't worry, it's not my blood.
Yeah.
Like those were the original ones.
So Turning Point USA, the people there fan the flames.
Shocking.
Let's start with
They
Gina,
never do that. That's
because
weird.
you're running for office, and
Well,
what are these folks thinking? Because
they got death threats.
it's horrible. They doxed the teacher.
Yeah, they put all their names online.
Yeah, so Chris King, who's running for Vince Leach's seat, who's the senator in LD 17, down here where the district is, immediately, when he saw what was happening, Chris King immediately put up the photo from the previous year.
Last year's
on
math
Facebook
department,
and said, you are completely incorrect.
So Chris King is one of the good guys.
He defended the teachers. He defended the school. He was accused by Jake Hoffman of...
Your favorite.
He was accused of you're just saying that you're weak. This is why you shouldn't run.
Right.
You're standing up. So I don't think this was necessarily even truly about the teachers. I think it's about the nominee that Mr. Hoffman might have running against Chris King in the LD 17 seat, and the innocent teachers got dragged in. One of my predecessors went on Twitter when that photo went up and said, "Oh, that looks like AI," and is like circling. So you can't convince people of a negative. You're trying to defend people. It's never okay. And was that not the whole point of Charlie, God rest his soul, wanted to have conversations and open dialogue, and now we're just targeting people. We're making assumptions. We're spreading their name and their phone numbers. They got death threats.
They did.
This is just utterly disgraceful.
Because the story is completely false. That's the at the root of it.
But even if it wasn't completely false, why would you take regular Americans and target them on Twitter and dox them and expose them?
Well, I would say this: if the math department in Vail wore that to mock Charlie Kirk's death, I think we have a different discussion. I would go, you know what, that is inappropriate for the math department and teachers to be doing at best.
And you could then talk to the administration about doing something about that, but I still would never take people and expose them on a mass social media platform
around the world.
Yeah.
Stacey, what's wrong with these Turning Point USA people?
Where do you want to start?
So much. This is for a therapist to sit with us on the show and help sort out. But it is react first, aim later, find out facts later. Gina's certainly been on the receiving end, Christine too, to some degree. I by an appearance on this show, I said something shortly after Charlie Kirk's death. 700,000 views later, I wound up in weirdo land of the socials.
You didn't say anything bad about him.
No, I did not. I didn't say anything.
Nothing should be said bad about him.
I literally did not say anything bad about him, and didn't say anything bad about his someone having murdered him. Was. But that's
they grasp onto something so little, and then blow it out of proportion.
Yeah, and
that fits their narrative.
And no one ever talks about the value of a dysfunctional childhood, but I think those crazy people are funny. Like, I'm entertained. I sat at bingo on that Friday, and my daughter read me The Worst of the Worst, and we laughed.
Oh no!
But the vile things that they say are just unhinged. And you don't know if there's 1,000 really bonkers comments. Some telling me that my husband should be shot. Who's a cop? Who's
so sorry.
Police officer.
He's actually been shot. Like, okay, dudes. Like, he actually has been shot at.
Right.
Multiple times. But, it was nuts. And you don't know if of the 1,000 comments, there is one out there.
Right.
Who's unhinged?
Who'll act on it.
Who's really unhinged?
That's the concern.
What do you think?
So I'm going to take a contrarian view here. I think there are zero good, clean hands in this conversation. Those teachers should never have worn those shirts. They are in such poor taste. In 2024 or 2025 or any other year, stop it. You're a math teacher. You teach students in one of the finest school districts in the country, okay? The Vail School District is very well respected, okay?
Yep.
Stop it. What are you doing? The people online, picking on them, doxing them. Stop it. What are you doing? There are no good players here. And I'll tell you what, Stacey, I posted something around that same time just saying it's weird to me, sorry for the non sequitur, that every single time Meghan McCain posts anything online, somebody says something about her dad. I'm like, what does her dad have to do with this? I got the most vile for that.
Yeah.
The most vile threats and burning my house down and, like my husband who's been wearing a uniform for 50 years, like he should die in a fire and stop it.
Crazy.
People. Just calm down. Don't wear stupid bloody T-shirts when you're a math teacher. Just calm down, people.
We have a whole ecosphere that benefits financially.
Monetizes rage.
From getting people ginned up over non-stories and convincing them that, this is affecting their life somehow.
We had this segment on this show called The Right to Disagree, and I appeared with Secretary Fontes and Ambassador Flake.
Yeah, on the station.
And people within that group took a photo of the three of us, because you do.
Sure.
You take a photo. They took out the banner that says The Right to Disagree and said, it's the Uniparty. This is evidence
there you go.
of the Uniparty, right? And so but the whole purpose is to have the conversation. That's if we cannot communicate, this is when bad things happen in life. And so, yes, this shouldn't have happened. People shouldn't get doxxed. And I'm just sorry for both of you that you received threats.
Well, you did it too. We're all getting them, right? It's so obnoxious and over the top. And for a stupid Halloween costume, right? Stacey, I think next time you order a Halloween costume for your dog, please get these teachers a costume.
He was a lion. He was very cute. He was a white lion.
She was fantastic, no doubt. Gina, Stacey, Christine, thank you guys. I tell you what, real quick, we're going to come back on the other side. Should you be canceling your Thanksgiving plans because of the government shutdown? There's no way it lasts until then. We're talking about it next. We're here. It's the 5 o'clock Faceoff. We are surrounded by an amazing group having civil discussions about things going on around us. Arizona GOP chairwoman and candidate for Congressional District 1 is Gina Swoboda. The co-founder of Lumen Strategies and a Democratic strategist, she's Stacey Pearson, and an attorney, very good one at that, by the way, and former GoDaddy Chief Counsel Christine Jones. Awesome to have all of you with us. Thank you for being in the 5 o'clock Face-Off. So, Gaydos has predicted
at the very start, I did
that the government shutdown
would not only be the longest in history, which I've already won that.
You did win that, but that it will last through Thanksgiving.
Oh, is there an over-under?
I guarantee you can bet on it on one of those betting sites. Things, I'm sure there is an over-under on it.
It's not what I want, and I don't think it's what anybody wants. But
here, so let me throw this out there, because when I think of Thanksgiving, obviously we talk about food and people eating. But travel is going to start getting affected, and it's going to start getting affected even more so starting Friday. Don't know if everyone heard this, but the Secretary of Transportation announced that they will be cutting 10% of all air traffic, basically slowing down air traffic in the United States starting Friday because of a lack of air traffic controllers. We also had Sunday and Monday at Houston, Bush Airport there, 3+ hour TSA lines because they didn't have enough TSA agents to open up all of the lines. When air travel starts getting affected, like we had 220 delays out of Sky Harbor Day, 50 canceled flights. My brother worked for a lawyer for the TSA. I apologize. And he made the point to me. He said, Congress is on recess. Everyone's back home in their districts. If they have to go to the airport and wait 3 hours to go through TSA, when they get back to D.C., finally, maybe they're going to discuss this a little more seriously. Is that the thing that it's going to take until it affects members of Congress directly?
They should affirmatively do that. What are they doing? Tell your brother that is exactly what they should do. intentionally, affirmatively. Now, I think I heard Becky Lynn say 40 top cities, 40 top traffic
They're going to say
cities.
40, which we're definitely one of them.
Yeah, for sure. Do we have a sense of how that impacts the full system? Because if Chicago or Atlanta goes down, everything goes down.
Well, it's going to be the high traffic. They're not talking about shutting down Sioux Falls as much.
What time do I need to get to the airport tomorrow?
I'm thinking it's 3 hours.
4 hours.
No, this is insanity.
Add an hour because if the 10%
unreal.
So Stacey and I are going to be having mimosas at 6 a.m. tomorrow at Sky Harbor.
100%. 100. I will be in the lounge. I will be drunk by 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yes. We're going to be there 6 hours before our
flight. We're going to wheel you onto the plane.
Oh, gosh.
Gina?
We have to reopen air travel before Thanksgiving. It's the busiest traffic day in the country of the year.
I'm going to push back on that.
Yeah, please.
If Trump doesn't want to put out the SNAP benefits, he doesn't care if anybody goes home for Thanksgiving or what the air travel looks like. If you're not going to feed people, which is the number one thing, it's not even what is the second? The air travel? I guess it's the second. If he doesn't care about the first, doesn't care about the second.
I believe he cares.
I would want him to believe. I would like to believe he cares. But every time, Gina, I do this on the show and I say, hey, he's going to do this. He's going to do this. The next 2 days, I got egg on my face. Every time I give the guy grace, I got egg on my face. Every single time.
He needs permission from the court to spend the money. If we get a clarification on where the money he's permitted to draw it from,
this
and then
is the
he
SNAP
doesn't,
dollars we're talking
the
about.
SNAP dollars,
Yes, okay.
and then he does not do that, then we have a discussion about what caring and empathy means.
Well,
but
what do you think his tweet yesterday that said, "You're not going to"? I'm going to paraphrase. You're not going to get anything until the radical left Democrats open up the government.
I think that we have a base that says we're finally in the position where we are the ones. We are not asking for anything. To be clear, we do not have 60 votes in the Senate. So everybody's got to get in their head that unless Democrats agree to reopen the government can't be reopened.
At least 7
Or you
Democrats,
drop
right?
the filibuster. I mean,
Which
there's
is
the
not-
nuclear option.
Which is never
Right,
happened.
which I, the president wants to do that, and I understand that. I did not hear
Speaker
John
Thune said
Thune
he
was
did
like,
not
that's
think that's
not
gonna
happening.
happen.
So, yes, we can't get things through with 51. We need the Democrats to join us. If they were waiting, and I don't know, there was a thought that they were waiting for the election to be over yesterday, and there's been more talk today about additional Democrats coming to the table.
Okay.
If we can get there, let's get there. If we go to Thanksgiving, then this country's got a lot bigger problems.
All right. Ladies, appreciate it. Thank you so very much for being a part of the 5 o'clock Face-Off today. Gina Swoboda, Stacey Pearson, and Christine Jones. We really appreciate you guys making time for us. You're very gracious with it.
Thanks for watching Outspoken with Bruce and Gaydos. Tap to watch more from KTAR News and click the button in the middle to subscribe.